was $11 million. Can you clarify the difference when you specifically were to use ArriveCAN, build, GC strategy, and the big picture of what has mushroomed into, or potentially has mushroomed into, about $60 million?
Yeah, well, again, we were only servicing the build. So when you look at call centers, I think Service Canada had $7 or $8 million for a call center. There was cloud services with AWS and Microsoft. There was other components like cybersecurity. There was data management. There was, I think there was a component for character recognition. There were things that we weren't involved in. We had a core team that was responsible for developing the app on the web, Android and iOS.
Okay,
anything,
perfect.
and no back-end components.
So you're in a position of those invoices. You haven't been asked to provide those invoices. Good of you that you've gone through and you've got an understanding. And you are claiming that it was roughly about $1 million, and you're saying net, shown a net income of $2.5 million off of that 11. Am I right?
Approximately $2.5 million.
Yeah. Okay. So with about 1 minute and 10 seconds, I'd like to go back to another comment that you made, and that's the third area. You talked about the rate to the crown. Okay. And the rate to the crown, how is that rate determined? Is it determined by you, or is it determined by the crown?
It's a combination. So when you submit the RFP, if there's multiple options, then there will be what they call a median band, where they'll take all of the bids and they'll understand what the median price out between $1,500 to $1,200. Then it'll be around $1,350 is what they'll say is the fair price for the crown. That's what they've determined it to be.
Okay, so crown determines the crown rate based on a methodology, yeah. Correct? Now, correct. When you go and bid, you bid on that crown rate. It's not that you set the crown rate or any of the 636 sets the crown rate, correct?
It's off market rate. Okay, so what that means is this is essentially why I guess this process was put in place in 2003 to the private sector, is to be competitive and keep the prices down for the crown. You need to have 636 people bidding on something every time.
Fair enough. So the rate is set up by the crown based on a market rate. And then you will basically go back and try to negotiate with resources. And whatever margin is left is yours. It's not that you are increasing the crown rate, established rate, correct?
Yeah. Once the rate is determined, the crown, it's up to us to negotiate the resource.
And okay, I will come back to you again on that because I'm out of time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jouari. It's 12:06. We will suspend for 10 minutes and start round 3 at 12:16 on the dot. We're suspended. Mr. Genwis for 5 minutes, please. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Firth, this is a sad example of corruption and potential criminality, but it also exposes incredible waste within this government, especially in the area of procurement and contracts to well-connected consultants for, in many cases, no discernible work. So I want to try, in my round of questions, to follow the money that was spent. The Auditor General's report estimates $59.5 million spent on the app, and further that your company received directly $19.1 million of that money, even though by your own admission, all that you did was recruitment of other individuals and companies. That's an incredible sum for quote-unquote recruitment. But you told the committee that the Auditor General's information is not correct. You dispute the $19.1 million figure. You say it was only $11 million. Is that correct?
The application build, that's correct.